Simon. Hi, everybody. My name is Sami. I'm a lead consultant at Tesla Purple. Arafat here too.
Yeah, so I'm Arafat Tassin. I'm Microsoft MVP for AI and I work for EY. I also want to introduce JK, who is not able to join us today, but we wish him he gets well soon. So he's also one of the Microsoft MVPs for AI and he's working for SSW. Over to you, Akansha.
My name's Akansha, as I've been introduced multiple times at this stage. I'm a senior consultant in data and AI at Valrada, and I'm also a Microsoft AI MVP.
A lot of MVPs and a lot of AI love on the call today. And as Arafat said, we do miss JK not being able to make it today, but we do wish him get well soon wishes, and we'll see him back involved in the community soon, no doubt. Now, I'm not going to hang around for this chat because I don't participate in the creation and management of this podcast, which is amazing, by the way, if you haven't seen it before. But I am going to open the discussion, and it's an opening question for 5 points, and we'll see how many points the three of you can build up over the next sort of 10, 15 minutes or so. So we know who you are. We know some of you are AI MVPs, but why choose to start a podcast? What's the driving reason behind that? And I'll throw to Somi to take that, and then I'll see the three of you later. So have a great chat. But why did you start a podcast? Why?
Thanks, Simon. Well, I can start by saying that we are common community members based in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. We all are working in and around tech industries and as part of our day jobs. And we also share common passion for Microsoft AI Stack. Ever since communities in Australia and New Zealand grew, we saw that there was always a need for a dedicated AI forum in this region where we can invite experts from our local community so they can share their experiences and we can learn from their experiences. So Arafat shared this idea with us, and then we came to a common ground and we decided to bring this platform to public. You can find all our episodes in your favorite podcast apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you're interested to see and watch our videos, we've got a YouTube page as well. Just search Global.AI, the podcast, and you can see the list of our episodes there. I guess so far we've covered 7 episodes in AI, ranging from AI for good to AI in education to trades of AI. And we just yesterday had our last episode discussing about risk of AI. And in each of these episodes, we ask and invite people from industries to see how they are leveraging AI into their solution and how others, be a developer or business, can benefit from it. So we bring these episodes to you from the community to the communities and hope everyone can get a value out of it. Now I'm going to head over to Arafat. Arafat, can you tell us a little bit more about our learning and the challenges that we've come across so far?
Yeah, thanks, Somi. So before we go into the learning part, I would just give a little bit of pre-podcast history on how it came into my mind. So it was as you have mentioned that it was a dire need of an AI dedicated AI community over here. We have seen a lot of communities, especially Microsoft communities, who have been working around, but there was an element missing which we wanted to cover up, and due to so much of virtual events, we wanted to go a little different as well. I won't talk about that in detail. We'll learn from Akansha about that. But I validated this idea. I thought of discussing it with Simon and Hank, and Hank very generously accepted this, and he has come up with the idea of giving us the platform Global AI Community. So we are not sponsored or funded, and since we were just coming up from with zero hosting stuff, zero technical stack knowledge on how to get started with that. Although we could go with that approach, but instead of reinventing a wheel, we went with the Global AI Communities Forum, and we kickstarted our first episode. So when we started, we went live with 5 of our episodes, where we usually kept 2 hosts. So both two of the hosts were our main hosts who were conducting an interview or podcast, and two were managing all of the social media and back end stuff. Later on, we realized that we are not getting much attraction from the live audience, and the statistics. What we have been noticing that people are listening to the podcast, the audio podcast, rather than watching it live, because of the time when we were doing it. So after sixth episode, when we looked at our statistics, and the sixth episode, by the way, was done with the AI with ML.net, with the title of AI with ML.net, and we invited ML.net product team to that. So they were in US, they are in US, and we were in the other part of the world, and our time zones never matches. And so what we did, that we went early, we get up early in the morning got up early in the morning, and had a discussion with them that if you could give us some time to learn about what's being done in Microsoft as a part of AI. And they kindly accepted our offer, and we had a very good discussion. So we recorded that podcast. We could not go live because who wants to listen to podcast at 6 a.m. in the morning, and that too live. So we recorded it, and then we moved it to our YouTube channel and the audio podcast. And after going with the recorded podcasts, when we saw the statistics, we figured it out that there was not much a difference in listening. So then we thought that let's go with this approach, and start recording it rather than going live, unless there is a dire need of it, or we think that yes, this should go live. And the reason for this, I think that because there's so much content available on the internet, and people want to listen at their ease, and the idea of going live with us didn't quite work well. The other benefit, I think, or the learning is, I think that we can now expand our reach and bring in some more guests from overseas, or from the other region. Mainly, we cover people from this market, and we really want to cover this market, because we really want to focus on the local talent. But we are not restricted, so that's why we have got the name as Global.AI at the podcast. So we will definitely uh, uh, increase our reach. So these are the main learnings, I think, so far in seven episodes. But hey, Akanksha, what are your thoughts on around this podcast? One of the top questions we get, and this is one of the things which we have always been getting, but now I'm going to ask Akanksha about this. Why we are not just doing this as just another user group? Like, we could go with the user group, invite guests, and ask those questions. Why we are going to doing this podcast? Would you like to shed some light
I mean,
on it?
yeah, sure. I don't know about most other people. I am absolutely done and just completely drained of like meetups and virtual meetups. It is just soul crushing to kind of finish work and spend 9 hours just looking at a computer screen in your room, and then join another one and then do the same thing all over again. Which is kind of why we started doing this, right? I mean, it was becoming to that stage. And I think the other aspect of meetups and stuff was, in person, it was great because you got to meet people and do the networking aspects. But in virtual, it's like all you're really joining for was the information. And by hosting it live, you were essentially just gatekeeping that information of, hey, if you can't join at 6 p.m. on that specific Thursday, where most people are either making dinner or looking after families or whatever else they're doing. And I think I'm echoing. Can someone mute themselves, please? But yeah, like, it was essentially just so we could include a lot more people around everywhere. And as well as that, specifically in the local areas, it was really handy because Australia started moving out of the virtualness. Most of Australia did, Melbourne didn't. And it was kind of a case of, okay, cool, look, we are getting into this weird hybrid area of some local stuff, some in-person stuff, some hybrid, like virtual stuff. It was just an easy place to be of like, here's a podcast, listen whenever, it's there for you, whenever you want to do it. And it also kind of gives that kind of backlog of things, right? We're creating content. Why are we doing it as a one-off thing when, I mean, things like risks of AI, no matter how far AI will get in the world, that's going to be very important, whether that's 10 years from now. Those risks are realistically, with the way everything's going to change, still going to exist. Like risks are always going to be a point. So that backlog will be there if people start joining in and getting interested 10 years, maybe not 10 years later, 2 months later, it's still there for them to kind of go back and listen to.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. People can always go back and listen to what we have been up to it. So Somi, one more question to you. What have we been? Do you see that we can bring in more guests, and who are we looking at? Who's our next guest, or who are our next guest? How can someone be involved in Global AI podcast?
I think one answer is whoever is passionate about AI can be one of our guests, because I guess the sky is the limit. You can know how to use cognitive services or AI in your solution, or you have a prototype that you have tried out, you can share that with us. I mean, we had different type of guests from universities to our expert in the industries, and we saw, and I guess we looked into AI. To my personal impression, that we looked at AI in different aspects. We didn't say all good about AI. We tried to cover the bad and the good things about AI. And I guess whoever has any opinion or has tried anything or have found any specific finding in AI, we welcome those ideas. We want everybody to listen to those ideas and thinking and findings, so we can share that knowledge across. So we are not, as you mentioned, we are not limited to the borders. We can go beyond borders, and we can listen to whoever has something to say about AI. I was just talking to one of my friends on LinkedIn, and he was saying that we've been talking about AI all over. It's not going to work. We shouldn't use AI at all. And then I told that person, yes, I understand there are challenges. In every new technologies, there are challenges. But the more we know about those challenges, it will be easier for us to be able to overcome those challenges. So by sharing those, I guess, ideas and sharing those experiences, I guess, will mitigate the risk, and we get to know and be able to use it in a better way, I guess. Be more responsible on using AI, and we can share that with others as well. I guess we are not limiting ourselves, so anything is possible. And by sharing our knowledge, I guess we can help and add values to our community as well.
Cool. Do we have any questions or any concerns from the audience?
I didn't.
Hey, I'm back. I'll play the role of the audience with the random questions thrown from the side. As always, fantastic to hear the genesis of an idea, like the podcast. And you're right, absolutely. Being stuck in front of a screen for yet another thing. I think we're all to the point of exhaustion. Ironically, here we are all stuck in front of a screen doing something, but at least you can watch this later on demand as you want. But podcast is a great format switch up, right? I think Arafat mentioned, people go for walks, they listen to podcasts, just another way to consume that information. The great thing is you can always do it at 2 or 3 times speed as well if you really want to pound your way through that content quickly. Not that I would suggest that that's the right way to consume the Global AI podcast, but it is an option if you're one of those people that likes to skim read books, for example. I guess the question I have is, you talked a bit about, what's coming down the pipe, but what are some of the lessons you've learned? We might ask one question, the same question to each of you. As an individual contributing to this, what's the one lesson you've learned in running this show or being involved in this show? And I might start with Akansha on this one.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing I've gotten out of it is don't do it alone. Have the support in the community around you. And I say that specifically because literally the last episode we just recorded, which was last week, was at the end of a day where I just organized 2 conferences. And I was like, oh my God, it's my turn to post this. And I'm dying inside. I don't have any. And it was just a case of well, there's 4 of us. Someone else jumped in, Arafat. And I was so important of obviously, look, we are very respectful of the guests' time. They're volunteering their time and coming in and spending an hour with us recording this and making sure they're getting the content out. And also it means we have the responsibility to actually show up and be at our best. But the fact is, everyone's human. Not everyone can be at their best at every given time. But hey, we have the support in the community to jump in whenever we can. So do it with support. Try not to do it alone. It's not worth it.
And Somi, for you?
I guess Akansha mentioned that the teamwork and the support that we got from each other and also from the community was awesome. And every episode I learned something. One of my favorite episodes was Trades of AI. So it was looking into AI from different lens. It was like eye-opening for me. At the end of the session, I had a lot of more questions from our guests that I wanted to get answered. So I guess I'm learning in every single episode, and I hope our audiences learn as well. And I guess that's the most key value that I get out of this episode, and I'm happy that I'm part of this group.
It's a great way to scratch that itch if you've got it right as an organizer, and having run New Breakpoint for the last few months. It's like, well, what am I interested in? What's the black area in my knowledge that I don't really know a huge amount about? And just sitting down with guests and watching as the shows come together, and it's like, oh, that's how that works, or I didn't know that it did that. And I think, to your point, as a host, oftentimes you learn much more from the guests that you have on, because you can ask those questions that you've always had at the back of your mind, or you suddenly learn about things you just didn't know. But yeah, I agree with you completely on that one. And then Arafat, we'll wrap up on this one perhaps. Same question for you. What's the kind of the one takeaway or learning for you from the show?
Yeah, so I'll echo first Akancha's and Somi's point of learning and working it together, because we have really found out it's a super good strategy, and I would also suggest that have more than two people is better. So from my perspective, if you don't have to start something from the scratch. Honestly, we have not started anything from the scratch when we started this podcast. We had the templates already built in, and we had this beautiful platform now online, on which I think Breakpoint is also being run. So we had this capability, and we just leveraged the existing capabilities and started building it. So the main point was, what is your goal? What is your objective? So our objective was to run a podcast rather than going into the technical details of how it is going to scale and how it is going to work. And we invited guests. One of the more the other learning is, it's not just rather than you target to this single region. We have seen from the audience that from statistics that people in US are also listening to us equally as Australian and New Zealand region. So it's good to consider yourself in that part as well. And when you are talking about that, you should be mindful that people across the world are listening to you. That's it.
Yep. So you're not going to have a full special coming up soon, then, I take it? It's my bugbear with North American releases. We always get fall releases, but it's spring in Australia and vice versa. But hey, that's for an entirely separate podcast episode, or wherever we might want to take that. Maybe offline over some drinks once we're all back physically together. Look, thank you very much to the three of you for joining today for the show. Once again, also a big shout out and get well soon to JK, who couldn't join us today. And I know he desperately wanted to be here, but we want him to get well soon so that he's back to the JK that we know and love. And this is the final episode for the first series of New Breakpoint. The three folks we have here are friends of the show and have been helping drive the community content throughout this first series, and will continue to help us going forward as well. And we really appreciate the time and effort that they've helped with us here. And as you can see with the Global.AI podcast, a lot of work goes into this stuff behind the scenes that sometimes isn't immediately obvious if you just pulled it up on your podcast app and had a listen to it. So we always like to finish with a wave with our guests. So if everyone wants to give a wave out to the camera and say goodbye, that's awesome. And let me get the wrap notes up here. And thanks a lot, folks, for hanging around. So bye, Arafat, bye, Somi, and bye, Akancha. Take care. All right, that is it for today's episode. We will be back in July with Series 2 for the show. If you want to find out more about the Global.AI podcast, how you can subscribe to it, learn a little bit more about Microsoft's AI platform and approach, and Azure AI in particular, it is in the show notes at the bottom there. My name's Simon Waite. It's been a real pleasure hosting this first series. We'll be back soon, so please keep an ear to the ground for that. Really enjoying seeing you on these shows, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.